I know there's a lot of concern right now about the coronavirus, this idea of a global outbreak. How in the world do Christians handle it? Just a few quick thoughts to put in our minds today. First, we should not be surprised. I know that's a weird thing to say. We're all very surprised and very discouraged by it, but God did promise through His Son, Jesus, in John 16:33, that in this world we'll have trouble. In fact, the ESV puts it, you'll have tribulation. And so there's a sense in which this is part of a fallen world. And when we look at the world historically and we look at the world through the course of biblical history, we can see that there's trials and tribulations that come. And so there's a sense in which this is part of the Christian life. Even though we've been shielded from it in our modern Western affluent world, it shouldn't surprise us that it happens from time to time. The second thing I would encourage us to do here is to realize that even in the midst of such trials and anxiety, that peace is possible through Christ. Now, it's not peace that exists when the trials are over, but peace even in the midst of them. Jesus in that same passage said, in this world you have trouble, but I've come to bring you peace in me. And through Christ we can really have peace and rest even while this trouble rages all around us. I mentioned a third thing about a trial like this. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for Christians to really demonstrate Christ's love for the world. It's interesting to look in early Christian history, particularly in the 2nd century. There were very similar things that happened. Plagues would ravage the Roman world and rip through Rome. And while many of the sort of pagan writers and authors and folks left the city, it was the Christians who stayed behind to help those who were suffering. This is a great chance for Christians to shine and to show Christ's love for the world. And then lastly, when we think about this, it's an opportunity to, of course, make declarations about where the real hope is in the face of death in this world. The biggest thing people are afraid of is dying. As we look at the death toll mount up on the internet, you can tell that people's number one fear is death. And death, in the face of death, is a great opportunity to share about the one who brings life. And so let me remind all of us in the midst of a trial like this that we not forget that this is when people are most apt to hear the gospel and to hear about the good news of Christ. Let us make sure that we don't just cure their physical sufferings, but also deal with their eternal state and to tell them about the good news of Jesus Christ, that is the way we conquer death.